Welcome traders to this video analysis on how will FOMC's figures impact the USD. That means we'll take a look at the euro dollar, the pound dollar, the dollar yen, and the AUDUSD as usual. But first of all, this disclaimer explaining that the material here is intended for a global audience. Please take into account that the info in this session may not be suitable for everyone. To get the corresponding information on charting conditions and other details, please visit admiralmarketsglobal.com, select your country of residence, and contact an appropriate entity. Also, please realize that trading foreign exchange and global financial markets is considered high risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that, and this webinar is for educational and informational purposes only. Thank you for your attention. So this week we have another good webinar lineup here. Weekly FX recap on Mondays as always. Then we have live trading labs on Tuesday and Thursday, and Wednesday we specifically look at Forex strategies. Of course, strategies are the most popular topic, and we'll be diving into all those aspects this week, Wednesday. Regarding our Thursday webinars, we're going to take a look at 7 ways of trading candlesticks at confluence. Last week we had positive NFP figures and unemployment rate figures for the US, so it's going to be interesting to see how those had effect on last week's trading and last month. Basically, the monthly chart is showing a bullish pin bar. In fact, that was the last month of June, and we see a strong close near the high, in fact, with a pretty big wick at the bottom, so that looking like a bullish signal. But if you then look at the weekly, we see more of a reversal candle after last week's positive NFP figures. So with this week's FOMC announcement, what could we expect regarding technical analysis, or at least what I'm expecting for this week? Now, obviously, price is still stuck between this relatively tight range the last 5 weeks or so, and has just been going sideways. There was an attempt to break this 136.75 level. That was rejected, but in my opinion, price is still close to the support level, and actually one more support level around this 135. A bit of a bounce, therefore, at this 135 still seems most likely, just because the support level price is closer to support than it is closer to resistance. Now, obviously, if the support levels were to break, then things would turn around, and there's a chance, of course, of more bearishness to come. If we look at the daily chart, you can see that we had this upswing here last week. It was mentioned that I was looking for upside. That did happen, but we just got not too far before we got a bigger rejection again. So in my opinion, this downside, is looking more like a retracement for more upside at the moment up to these targets to retrace this top. That's what I'm looking at. However, the analysis, of course, would be, from my side, invalidated if price will go through this 135 bottom. And then I would be considering this as a bearish structure. At the moment, it's still more of a bullish structure, and this looks more like a retracement. Price is now at the 61.8 fib, in my opinion, and therefore could be a bouncing spot, just like the 78.6 fib could be a bouncing spot as well. If we look at the hourly, you can see that this was a good downside, but there's some looks like this is rounding up on the oscillator, for instance. So one way to keep an eye on that is, for instance, like looking at this potential falling wedge, in fact, and the break of that falling wedge could be the first signal that we are headed back up, and this downside correction could be over. Let's move over to the pound dollar. Monthly chart is showing a very tall, engulfing bullish candle. In fact, in the month of June, totally engulfing the May month, in fact. And we see a continuation to the upside after June had closed very near that high. And the weekly chart too, last week was a very bullish candle, in fact. And if we then zoom into the daily chart and then zoom out a bit like that, you can see this very nice uptrend channel. So the uptrend very much still in play on this pound dollar. Now, if we look at the 4-hour chart, after we broke this bull flag here, you can see a lot of upside within this momentum here to the upside within that channel. And we had many corrections that saw follow through here. And looking at the most recent correction on this hourly chart, this too is more looking like a correction consolidation for more upside. That's how I look at it. If you look at the 4-hour chart, upside, upside, upside. This could be the 4th one, in fact. So obviously, the more we go up, the more divergence there is present. We already have 4-hour divergence, but we don't have hourly divergence as yet between these tops. Therefore, in my opinion, a break one more time at least of this top seems a decent probability. We already had a fib, 38.2 fib bounce, in fact. So the target of that could be the 172.30 or the 173 at the minus 272, minus 618 targets there. So this looks like a typical wave 4 consolidation for a break to the upside on the pound dollar. This is the AUDUSD. It's not as clear. We had some upside follow through and spike, but it turned out to be just a 78.6 hit and then downside from there. We're back to support on the daily chart at least, but we have a lot of momentum to the downside if you look at this hourly chart. Big fall and now looking like a correction. So I'm a bit cautious because of the mixed signals. We do have this 4-hour chart also showing a break of the uptrend clearly, but we haven't broken the support level. So until we break that support level, we could see some follow through maybe to 92, or if we bounce above this 4-hour tops, maybe we'll make a retracement of this downside momentum. That's about it. Otherwise, I'll still be on the sidelines waiting for more info on this AUDUSD. Dollar yen has gone sideways, as we can see here, for months and months and months. So if we zoom into the daily, you can see that sideways zone better. And basically, we're just chopping here to the side, consolidation. Now, within that consolidation, it seems like we're making some upside because it seems like up, correction, up. In that regard, we can put a fib from this bottom to this top and say, okay, maybe the minus 272 or the minus 618 are smaller targets within that basically the consolidation that is happening on the dollar yen. Well, that wraps up this video analysis. In fact, hope to see you in one of our webinars soon, and wish you all great trading. Cheers.